Hello to all you beautiful beings who will be tuning into today's message. This is the Crow's Nest. I'm your host, Crystaljoy, Wounded Healer. And what I have for you today is a daily guidance message. So what it is that you need to be aware of and focusing on today, as well as how it is, what is the recommendation, the guidance on how it is you can move forward through your day based on what is coming through for you. So we're going to begin with some tarot cards, and this is going to be what it is that you need to be aware of and focusing on for today. And then moving right into your guidance messages will be the angel number messages, okay? And today for the stones, what I have for you is a citrine on the tarot deck, which, it's very suiting because I do feel very energized today. You might hear my energy is a little more upbeat today, and that might be because I actually had an entire day just out in the forest yesterday, and it was just so amazing. Nature is so important, you guys. It's really important to take time for nature, because if we're talking about getting in alignment with ourselves, Gaia really does have so much that it wants to give to us to help us. So, do connect with nature, because that is going to help you to kind of recharge yourselves a little bit. Speaking of recharging, citrine is also a stone that, that speaks about, giving us a little bit of that energized, that feeling. It gives us a little bit of that boost. The other stone that we're using today on the angel numbers is the my rose quartz point. So I've gone back to using smaller stones today, but they are very energized, very passionate stones. So although they are tiny, they are indeed mighty. So that's what we'll be using today. So we're actually just going to dive right in and see what it is that you do need to be aware of today, and how you can be taking that guidance and to be using it to your benefit, really. Alrighty, and I am using my headset today, oh goodness, just because there's some noise happening around me, so I'm hoping that it helps to cut some of that out a bit. Already, we have 4 cards jumping out at us. We have the Judgment, the King of Pentacles in reverse, the Star in reverse, that's a card we saw yesterday, and the 6 of Swords upright. So we're talking right now about judgment, a rebirth, an inner calling, absolution. We're also talking about financial inept, obsession with wealth and status, and some stubbornness. Okay, we're also mentioning some lack of faith, despair, self-trust, and that disconnection. Still a little bit of that energy from that moon that just is still shadowing us a little bit. And then lastly, with the 6 of Swords upright, it's talking about transition, a change, rite of passage, and releasing baggage. So if you have not been following my readings this past week, you might want to look into those, because I feel like these cards really are speaking about, we really do see a storyline playing out, a continuation day to day of what our angels are trying to say to us. But with this Judgment here as well, there isn't a rebirth, an inner calling, and an absolution. So I feel like some of us really are getting tapped back into our intuition. Some of us have that new guide. I feel like we're really starting to kind of be in tune with them a little bit more. And then the 6 of Swords, I said cords, which is interesting, because when I think about cords, I think of attachment, energetic connection. So if you are a twin flame and you're watching this, that might have been a message for you. The 6 of Swords, the cord, is talking about a transition, that change, that rite of passage, and releasing of baggage. So there might be, if you are a twin flame, this might be speaking about, clearing away some of that negativity so that there can be some movement in regards to your journey. But we're going to put those back. We didn't even shuffle the cards yet, you guys. So I do want to get a nice clean shuffle before we get the message for you, okay? So that might have just been a message specific for one person. I'm just gonna let that card go, because I really do want to get a nice clean shuffle for you guys today. Okay, but that last message might have been for just one person or a couple, just a small specific group of individuals. So if that was speaking to you in some way, take it how it resonates with you. All right, so my goodness. I didn't even need to ask the question, you guys. So we already know, what do we need to be aware of? What do we need to be focusing on? What do we have today? It's the Hierophant. Okay, very suiting. It is in reverse, so we're talking about personal beliefs, freedom, challenging of the status quo. Okay, so I really do feel that, talking about the readings from this past week, this change of energy, we saw that judgment, that rite of passage. You know, I think some of us really are not only tuning into our intuition, but we're starting to understand a little bit more. You know, we've really looked inside and we're trying to understand ourselves, our energy a little bit better. And there is, you know, personal beliefs. We are starting to, you know, remember, you know, who it is that we are at our core and what it is that we actually believe in. What are our personal beliefs, and not the beliefs that have been kind of imposed on us by society and, you know, just by our environment as we grow up. Because, you know, as most of you know, when we're born into this world as children, we don't have what we know as the ego. We are true to ourselves, right? Children really don't hold back much in terms of, you know, what they like, what they don't like, what they have to say. I mean, kids will just say whatever's on their mind because they haven't been conditioned yet. And then as we get older, you know, people say usually around 7 years old is when we start to you know, identify with our ego. We start to develop what we like and don't like and our characteristics. And it has a lot to do with the environment around us, what other people say we should or shouldn't believe, and what it is that we're exposed to, right? So some of you are really tapping into what it is that your personal beliefs are. And I absolutely love that for you guys, because I really do feel like, you know, freedom is another word that's on this card. And again, if you're first time tuning into my channel, I do use cards a little bit differently, and I do go about things differently. And the reason is because so many people are still learning about tarot and their spiritual journey. And I like to make sure that I'm helping you guys to not only learn as you go, but get clear messages to each and every one of you who's tuning in, okay? So going back to tuning into your own personal beliefs, this is giving you a sense of freedom because you are letting go. You know, some of you have rules and restrictions and beliefs, like limiting beliefs that you've set upon yourself based on what it is that you've been exposed to in your life. And now that you're letting that go and you're tuning back into, you know, who am I? What it is that I actually believe in, you have the sense of freedom because now you're realizing that the beliefs that you had that were not your own were actually quite heavy. They were weighing you down. And so now they're not doing that to you anymore. And again, I just so much love for you guys. I'm so happy for you to be moving into such a state of lightness in your life, okay? Now the next thing is challenging the status quo. That's something else that the Hierophant, the card itself, speaks about. I feel like I'm not set up to actually dive into what the interpretation of the card actually would be in terms of what the status quo is speaking to. So do look up the card, look up the Hierophant and the interpretation for it. Look up, it did come in reverse. So look up that, look up the interpretation and see what it's saying to you specifically. But challenging the status quo, once again, going back into, you know, I'm rubbing the card because that's how I feel the energy a little bit. And I look away from the camera sometimes because I'm trying to use my mind's eye, my vision a little bit. And as I said that, my camera went blurry. I don't know if you saw that or if it was just my vision, but that might have meant something as well. Some of you might be tuning into your third eye, your clairvoyancy, you know, really tapping into your abilities, okay? But again, challenging the status quo. So you are you're going back to excuse me, my throat chakra now. You're going back into your personal beliefs. You might be in a state of where you're realigning your chakras, right? Because I had a few of my chakras going off just now. Excuse me. So you know, now that you are tuning back into what it is your own personal beliefs are, there is a bit of challenging the status quo because the majority of the people, and it might be the majority of the people that surround you in your life, they might not be as spiritual as you are or have the same personal beliefs that you do. And by not only tuning into what your personal beliefs are, but also expressing them to the outside world, it might be a little bit challenging. The fact that, you know, this is outside of the status. You know, the majority of the people don't think the same way that you do. They don't move the same way that you do. They don't have the same beliefs that you do. And so that can be a little bit challenging. But I actually do want to say, you know, don't stop. If you are challenging things a little bit, if it is creating some tension and some friction in your life around you, it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as it's coming from the heart space. And the reason I'm saying that is because, you know, yesterday's reading we saw about how you are leading others just by being the positive example that you are. Okay, so even if you are kind of being that black sheep a little bit, you know, your beliefs are a little bit different, the way you move is a little bit different, and you do stand out a little bit, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because other people are observing this and they're saying like, wow, you know, maybe I can do that for myself. Maybe I don't have to control myself so much by, you know, what's cool versus what's not cool. I'll give you an example. This walking stick, I'm going to post a video for you guys about this little journey I had yesterday. But this walking stick, okay, I found this walking stick that I actually really needed when I was out on my hike yesterday in the forest. And I really wanted to take this hiking stick home with me, this walking stick. Now the old me, the egoistic me, never would have taken this stick home with me on the SkyTrain and on the bus, like literally all the way across the lower mainland to Vancouver, because I would have been so worried about, you know, what do people think about me walking around with this giant stick? It's just, you know, it's so outside of the status quo, what most people would do. They wouldn't walk around with this giant stick, right? But I just didn't care. I really wanted to take this stick home. So many thoughts and ideas of what I want to do with this stick, but also it was really special to me about how I found it and why and all this stuff. So basically I just didn't want to let the stick go, and I took it home with me despite what I thought other people would care, right? And so I think that really does speak a little bit about that whole status quo thing, right? Don't necessarily be so concerned about what it is that other people think about how it is that you move and think and believe in, and also by expressing yourself, your true personal beliefs, and that sense of freedom in finding that other people are seeing, maybe I too can find that same sense of freedom by truly just being myself and believing in what it is that I actually believe in. That was a lot that really just came through now, and I feel like that was a really energized, loving, you know, heart space sort of message. But we're gonna check in now with the angel number guidance on how it is that, you know, what's the recommendation on how you can move forward through your day. So, you know, this is some of the things that you might be feeling, that you might be thinking, and what your angels want you to be focusing on and be aware of. But now we're gonna find out, you know, what guidance would they give you based on this Hierophant in reversed? Oh goodness. I really do like to shuffle, you guys, but when the cards come out like that, I can't deny them. Alrighty. Okay, so today we have angel number 523. Oh, there's more there than I thought we had. So going back yesterday, we had angel number 23 come out. Very high vibe card that, you know, it resonates for me as a very high vibe. You know, today we have angel number 523, and this is talking about your angels are working to introduce new blessings. So be more generous and open to sharing the blessings and riches with the underprivileged. So when this card comes up, I always feel compelled to say this isn't about sharing money, about wealth, about material possessions. This is quite literally about sharing your light, being who you are. I just talked about that, right? Challenging that status quo. Just believe in what you believe in, and you know, be true to yourself and live day to day based on, you know, being true to yourself. And other people are going to see that, they're going to observe it, and you know, that is helping to others to see. You know, it's leading by example, right? But also that is a way that you can be generous and open to sharing your wealth and your riches, because when our cup is so overflowing, that we not only love ourselves with so much abundance, but that other people around us are starting to feel that vibration of love that we feel for ourselves and everything around us. That allows them to start to tap into their heart space as well a little bit. Okay, so the other card that we have today, I also want to mention there's 4 cards of the angel messages that came out today. Number 4 was a number that came through yesterday. And with 4, I think about stability and security, okay? So you might even be feeling stable and secure in this vibration of this personal sense of freedom through being true to who you really are and what your personal beliefs are. So angel number 420 is talking about being on the verge of your soul mission discovery. So yesterday, a card that came through talked about how many of you really are in alignment with your true soul's mission, what it is that your task here on earth is in this life. Now this card number 423 is telling you, for some of you tuning in today, you guys are very close to being, you know, on that same page as the number that came through yesterday. So you're really close to discovering what your path is here in this life, in this time, okay? And also it's talking about giving support to those around you. So it really does tie into angel number 523, sharing your generosity and your riches with the underprivileged. So, you know, when we do have that amount of self-love for ourselves, you know, just by being a support for other people, you know, just hearing what they have to say if they're having a bad day, or just, you know, being a shoulder to cry on, you know, just by being supportive to other people, you know, we are helping them. But also going back to angel number 523, angel number 420 is saying to you, you know, yes, please do give your support to other people. And I feel that that's really helping some of you as well to understand what your true worth is, your self-worth, and understanding, again, going back to your personal beliefs, right? Because I feel like some of you do have this deep personal belief of what your true worth is, but growing up in this world, in this life, has been kind of cruel to you. And so it makes you question everything that you always thought that you believed in, but you're coming back into a place where you're like, nuh-uh, no, I was right all along. So do give support to those around you, because you are strong enough to do that. Angel number 505 just flew out of my hand. That was another one of the cards. So this is a sign from your angels that you are about to begin a life-changing spiritual awakening. So some of you, you know, yesterday's reading, I feel like, was for some of you who already are more awakened. Today's message is, you know, going back to, you know, the verge of your soul mission discovery with angel number 420. Angel number 505 is telling you that you are, you know, you're not only on the verge, but this is going to be a life-changing spiritual awakening for you, okay? So be ready for some change. Really be open to it, because this is life-changing. And when it's a message from your angels, this is of the highest vibration you can possibly imagine. So this is something that you want to be open to. So be ready to receive that. And then the other thing that angel number 505 is telling you is this is of great divine support. Okay, so once again, there's nothing to fear with these changes that are coming your way. Just be open and receive. Okay, and angel number 523 also does say not only be open to sharing, but also be more open to receiving, right? So be ready for the change, be open to it, because it is for your highest good. It is of divine support. Lastly, we have angel number 22 for you. So this is a card of intuition and talking about the verge of attaining your highest order of spiritual wisdom. So this life-changing spiritual awakening that you are about to encounter, this verge of your soul mission discovery, once you step into this, you will be, this is the verge of attaining your highest order of spiritual wisdom. So this is going to be the highest level of spirituality. Excuse me, I have the hiccups now, so that might be about the throat chakra, but your highest order of spiritual wisdom. So I really do feel that the spiritual awakening for you is going to take you to a place, an elevated place that is just unlike anything you've ever experienced before, okay? And once again, going back to all of this being of divine support for your highest good, you know, this is what we're talking about, your highest good, reaching a higher order of spiritual wisdom. I'm hearing the word manifestation right now. So for some of you, you're going to be so tapped into your intuition that you're going to start to notice how it is you're able to manifest things into your life, okay? So that's what I have for you guys today. I really do feel just so much energy and strength and passion behind today's message. I really do feel like I could just go on with this messages, but overall, I'm just feeling, you know, so much energy. It's just so much love and passion. And I'm hearing the word compassion as well. That's something that's been coming through my readings for a month now. So that's what I have for you guys today. And I hope it helps you move you through your day. And I'll check back in with you tomorrow and see what we have for you then. This is the Crow's Nest. I'm Crystaljoy, Wounded Healer. Be well.